Hello, this is Katie with Happy Hearted Watercolors, and I'm going to give you a brief demonstration of some of the pieces that you'll need to put together the sunset reflections you see here. Our questions and problems to solve today are: how can you show reflections in water, and how can you create a smooth graduated wash? I'm leaving this up here as I'm talking so you can snap a picture of what you're going to shoot for. Feel free to use the template. I got this from Pinterest. Thank you very much to the wonderful people there. So here we're going to start with a graduated sunset wash. And this is a palindrome, meaning it goes blue, red, yellow, red, blue. So we've got yellow in the middle surrounded by red, and that's surrounded by blue. So that's what a palindrome is in mathematical terms. So here we are with our finished project. Hopefully you've got a chance to snap a picture. And the next step is to trace your image on your paper. And you want to trace the image on the paper with a transfer paper because lots of erasures on your watercolor paper will disturb the flow of the paint once you get going on it with lots of erasing. So you can see that I've used this template quite a few times, and I use a different color pen each time so that I know where I've been and where I still need yet to trace. When we're tracing these, I like to look every little bit to make sure that I've covered everything, and also to make sure that it's not too dark or too light. So you can see here I kind of got heavy-handed. Fortunately, things are going to go pretty well here because we're doing a silhouette of the mountains and the land. So here we go. Then I would need to do the squiggly wigglies for the trees reflected in the water. And again, as you remember, we're trying to answer the question, how do you show reflections in the water? So this is how we're going to do that with a little bit of waves, like there's some wind going on in the water. Maybe just a little bit. So there we go with that. And here's what we have. And I have put my tree reflections in the wrong place, I believe. This should be land. That's water. Okay, no, it's in the right place. So here we go. I also have secured my paper down on a piece of glass, actually, this time, and I have taped it down. I'm here at the gallery working, so I've taped it down, and I'm using a different kind of paper, so we'll see how I like it. It's Artist's Loft. I couldn't be called a paper snob, so we'll see. I'm going to first wet this paper, and this is one of the keys to making a smooth wash. I'm going both ways, both up and down. Now you don't always do this, but in many cases you do. I'm going to now look at where I want to start my blue. I'm going to do blue, red, yellow, red, blue. So I'm going to use my finger to kind of put the my goal as to where I'm going to put the blue, and I'm using a tester paper, and that's what I want to look at. It looks kind of dark here on the screen, but I think that it's going to be better in real life. So let's just keep going here with my work. And what I'm doing is putting it into the lid of my palette. That way I know I've got enough paint to last the whole time through. I've got some paint here, and just go like that, and testing it on my paper. And I'm just going to do a swipe and a swipe. That's all I'm doing. Now, quickly, and I'm also trying out using a sponge to wipe my brush. That'll pull off even more color. And now some warm red in here. And I'm going to start above where I stopped the blue. So I'm just going to go swipe, swipe. Look how it pulls itself back into the other so that we've got some nice commingling of the colors. This was a warm yellow or warm red, and now I'm going to continue on with a warm yellow. And I'm just going to go directly, we'll see what happens, and then go back into my red that I already made. And what I'm noticing with the colors and with the paper is that I'm getting a little bit, it dried a little faster than I wanted it to, but we'll see how it works. You don't want to go back in to your paint now that it's starting to dry. If you do, you'll end up with some blooms. Okay, and on down to the blue. I'm going to make this whole bottom part blue. Okay, here we have a sunset variegated wash. And what you want to do with your wash is to rock and roll this board. And that's why it's good to have a board, because if you just have it on paper, it's going to be floppy. And I'm going side to side so that I don't lose my sunset. Watching as I tip. If I were using my arches, I know that I wouldn't have to worry about this, but it's kind of concerning me right now. So I'm going to see if I can't play with it and encourage it to play nicely down there. Let's see if I don't want to do too much messing. And here at the end, I'm going to just draw off that bottom part. I'm not wiping the paper at all. I'm just wiping the board. And I want to do this rock and roll until it's totally, the paint is stopped moving. It doesn't have to be dry. It can still be a little shiny, but you don't want to see the paint move. Okay, we're going to go on to the next video.